All right, folks, today is a historic day. It's a historic day. Trump plans to visit Florida's new migrant detention center, Alligator, Alcatraz, opening tomorrow, apparently. They got it together very quickly. President Trump is due in Florida on Tuesday to visit what's been dubbed Alligator Alcatraz, a controversial migrant detention center in the Everglades that the state has stood up in a matter of days. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis spoke about the president's trip at an unrelated news conference on Monday. So let's find out a little bit more about Alligator Alcatraz.
Bring people in there. They ain't going anywhere once they're there unless you want them to go somewhere, because good luck getting to civilization. So the security is amazing. But what... Natural.
God bless America. What a great country this is. Laugh about the people getting mauled by alligators. Wow. What a place. What a country.
They used to call me Inshore Ron. Now they're going to call me Gator Ron.
Gator Ron, yeah.
Woohoo.
Yeah. Natural and otherwise. But what it can be, I think, is an effective way to increase the number of removals and deportations, which ultimately, if you don't do that, you're going to continue to have this problem of illegal immigration. So you'll be able to bring people in, they'll get processed, they have an order of removal, then they can be queued, and the federal government can fly right on the runway, right there. You literally drive them 2,000 feet, put them on a plane, and then they're gone. It's very logistically simple, but what we're also going to do is, this idea of immigration judge, these are not Article 3 judges. They're not federal judges like we think of. These are executive branch employees who are called immigration judges. So you can have you can deputize different employees to do that. So we've offered some of our National Guardsmen to be able to serve as immigration judges. So
it's an amazing thing to just admit. Now, when we say judges in hearings, we don't actually mean you get a fair hearing. We're just going to stick a National Guard guy and call him an immigration judge. It's all under the executive branch. So you might say you're getting a hearing, but you're not actually getting a hearing. It's all for show.
Yeah, we call it the Roy Bean Initiative.
Yeah, right, exactly. Exactly. It's amazing.
In the old days, you didn't need any legal training to be a judge, and that's how this great country was built. We're just going to grab people off the streets and give them judicial authority. Worked for them. Worked for the pioneers.
These aren't real judges. These aren't up from the judicial branch. These are executive branch employees. Yeah, we just, stick a National Guard guy in there. Here's your hearing. All right, what's your case? All right, very good. Get on the plane. That's all.
What you could have is, okay, someone's a criminal alien, they obviously fast track. Someone has an order of deportation, okay, fast track. Someone may have just gotten picked up. They come, they can get like a notice to appear. Biden would tell you to come in 2 years. I mean, under the Trump administration, it's usually within, 14 to 30 days. But we can have our National Guard acting as immigration judges right on site. So you go, maybe you have a day or two, whatever, and then a decision's made. And then that's it. So
so he's saying plain as day right there that this is not going to be limited to violent criminals, the worst of the worst. That's the word out of Trump and his team. That's not what Ron is saying. Ron is saying, we'll have the criminals there. They get fast tracked. But then we're also going to have people with deportation orders, meaning non-criminals who are ordered out of the country. And then people who we just pick up, we could send them there and then we could ship them out from there. So he's just saying, look, this is not limited to criminals, the worst of the worst. That's the word out of the White House. But obviously, he kind of stepped on the narrative there. Now, here's Donald Trump on his way to Alligator Alcatraz. We have some footage of him there, which we'll show later. But this is him in the morning on the way to the airplane, very excited about the prospect. Steve Ducey asked, with Alligator Alcatraz, is the idea that if some illegal immigrant escapes, they just get eaten by an alligator? Ever stop to have to pinch yourself and say, is this real life? Is this actually real? But, yep, it's actually real.
It's like RoboCop.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
It's the idea that if some illegal immigrant escapes, they just get eaten by an alligator or a snake. I guess that's the concept. This is not a nice business.
I guess that's the concept. This is not a nice business. That's his answer. He goes on.
This is not a nice business. I guess that's the concept. If snakes are fast, but alligators are, but we're going to teach them how to run away from an alligator, okay? If they escape prison. How to run away. Don't run in a straight line. Run like this. And you know what? Your chances go up about 1%. Okay.
So, in addition to being just comically sadistic, that is in fact wrong. It's debunked that you're supposed to
Be American.
Yeah, it's actually wrong. You are not supposed to run away from an alligator in a zigzag.
That's
long
not true.
been said. No, that's actually not true. That's actually not true. You're supposed
it's a
to
good
run.
thing you told me that. I would have tried it.
Yeah, right. It's a good see. You learn life skills. No, alligators are
Comes
actually
up a lot here in Manhattan.
Yeah, alligators are actually not particularly dangerous animals. It's very, very rare that a person is attacked by an alligator. 1.3 million alligators.
But if you are, the zigzag method isn't going to save you.
No.
That's
So
what
first
you're
of all,
telling me.
there are a ton of alligators in Florida. 1.3 million. There are 2 million alligators in Louisiana, so they're everywhere. I mean, they're like deer down south in that area.
Yeah.
I mean, they're everywhere, and they pose almost no danger to people. So,
I mean, there was that
question,
dude the last time they had a flood in New Orleans a couple years ago. There was that dude who got eaten by an alligator.
It
in his
happens.
backyard.
It doesn't never happen, but given how many alligators there are down there, it's very, very unlikely that you are going to be harmed by one. They're actually very rare. And the reason for that is because as long as you are not stupid, like you should never go swimming at night, right? Because the alligators are in the water, right? So, stay out of the lakes at night. But if one encounters you on land, yes, they do run fast, but in very short stretches. They get tired very, very quickly and easily. So if you beeline a 50-yard dash and you sprint in a straight line, it's almost impossible that they're going to catch you. They can sprint for, a few feet, and then they're going to have to stop and take a breath. So if you run, you should be fine. So, yeah, the zigzag, you don't really need to zigzag. Zigzag, that's a good way to fall. You zigzag, you trip over your feet, now you're in trouble. Now they get you. Now you're in trouble.
Then they're on you.
Then they're on you. Exactly. So you're not actually supposed to run in a zigzag. That's a myth at this point. I'm glad we could clear that up. We give, life-saving advice here at the Due Dissidents podcast. But who was very
that
excited?
A segment.
Yeah, we should. We should. Well, we might have to. We might have to do alligator survival tutorials in Trump's America. That might be very, very high value content.
That was not on my bingo card.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yes. Yeah. The Jewish alligator hunters will be like the Jewish Steve Irwin. Yeah. And here is Donald Trump at the facility. Hours later, he arrived. So let's take a quick listen.
There's Alligator Alcatraz, which is very appropriate because I looked outside and that's not a place I want to go hiking anytime soon. But very soon, this facility will house some of the most menacing migrants, some of the most vicious people on the planet.
See, that's not what Ron DeSantis said yesterday.
Yeah.
That's
how they sell it.
Right. That's how they sell it. But once again, the guy who built it, we just showed you the video a few minutes ago. Ron DeSantis said this is going to be we're going to house some criminals here, but there's going to be people without criminal records who just have deportation orders. And we're going to have, new people who we just pick up who are not supposed to be here. So this is not just the most vicious people, as he's saying.
Some of the most menacing migrants, some of the most vicious people on the planet. We're surrounded by miles of treacherous swampland, and the only way out is really deportation. And a lot of these people are self-deporting back to their country where they came from. Quite a few. We're amazed at actually the number. We took the FEMA money that Joe Biden allocated to pay for the free luxury hotel rooms, where he's paying hundreds of millions of dollars in New York City, and we used it to build this project. And Narana was just a little fraction of that money. The money they spent on that project, I happen to know the real estate developer. He's he never really made that much, but he became very wealthy. With luxury, he didn't do well. With people that are not exactly luxury, he's made a fortune.
Very good. Great to hear.
Now, this is phase one. Phase two is destroy the country so that nobody wants to come here, so that we don't have this problem again in a few years, because who's going to want to come to this hellhole by the time we're done with it?
Right. Pretty soon, between deportations, closing the border, killing off the poor, and discouraging anybody else from coming, pretty soon there will be hardly any people here, except rich people and enough middle-class people to service us. And that's it.
It's going to be like, you ever been to Buffalo?
It's all gonna be like Buffalo. It's gonna be they're gonna make a song, My Own Private Buffalo. That's what the country's gonna be.
Exactly, yes.
Like
my own
3
private
people
buffalo.
per 100 square miles. That's the ideal.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
Please clap.